It started with the air, not the kind of thing you see in movies with sirens blaring and the streets empty by noon. I woke up, made coffee, opened the window for a second, then closed it because it felt too cold, even though it was supposed to be warm for April. The birds outside were silent. That's the first thing I noticed. No birds, just this weird, flat silence like someone pressed mute on the whole neighborhood. My name's Jake. I'm 27, live in Springfield, Missouri. I work from home. I do customer support for a gym app. I don't really talk to my neighbors unless their dogs bark too much. But I see them. I know the guy across the hall, Steve, usually leaves at 7:30 for work, carrying a thermos and whistling something old. On normal days, I hear Mrs. Patel on the first floor yelling at her kids to hurry up. That morning, none of that happened. Steve's door was closed at 9. Patel's minivan didn't move. Maybe it's stupid, but it was enough to make my skin itch. I tried to shake it off. I microwaved leftovers for breakfast, checked my email, tried to log onto Slack, but it kept kicking me off. My phone buzzed once, twice, then the screen went blank for a few seconds before rebooting. I thought it was just a crappy update, but then group chats started blowing up. Coughing emojis? Anyone else feel weird? My buddy Matt sent a photo of a military Humvee parked at the corner, just sitting there, no lights on. He wrote, "Dude, what's going on? This is my block." I thought, National Guard, whatever. There's always some reason, right? Maybe an accident, a drill. But then another message popped up from Jenny, my ex. People are getting sick, like fast. Hospitals are full. Don't go out. She never messaged me unless she was in trouble. She sent a video of people running out of a Walgreens down on Glenstone, and one guy was on the ground, thrashing. It looked fake. I wanted to believe it was fake. But then I heard something out in the hall. Coughing. Not the dry, allergy kind, but deep, chesty, like someone choking. It went on for too long, stopped, started again. I peeked out my peephole and saw the blood, just a drop, on the linoleum outside Steve's door. Someone stepped in it and dragged it toward the stairs. I shut my own door, locked it, and my hands wouldn't stop shaking. I texted Matt. He didn't answer. The day dragged. I tried to work, but the app wouldn't load. News notifications kept popping up, every channel contradicting the other. Flu-like outbreak. Don't panic. CDC recommends staying inside. My mom called, but the line went dead after 2 minutes. I kept checking Twitter, hoping for a meme, a joke, something normal. All I got were rumors, martial law, people eating each other, government cover-up. Half the videos were obvious fakes. The other half looked too real. I called Jenny. No answer. I tried Matt. No answer. The only text I got was from my boss. Take the day off. Don't leave your place. That's when I noticed the sirens. First in the distance, then closer. I saw 3 ambulances in 20 minutes. My heart started racing every time one passed. I texted my mom again. Still nothing. At some point, the Wi-Fi cut out. My phone still had bars, but I couldn't call anyone. Even 911 just rang. I was pacing, sweating, looking out my window without opening it. Down on the street, a woman in scrubs was standing by her car, screaming at someone I couldn't see. I couldn't hear what she said, but her face was pure panic. A second later, 2 guys in camo rushed up, grabbed her and pulled her inside. I almost opened my window to yell, but I didn't. I shut the blinds. That's when I realized I'd started to feel watched, like the building itself was holding its breath. Around noon, someone knocked on my door. Not a friendly knock. Slow, heavy. I stayed quiet. Whoever it was moved on, banging on other doors. Downstairs, I heard someone screaming, "Let me out, let me out," and then nothing, not even footsteps. By afternoon, the news was a joke. Every station said something different. Some guy on YouTube was streaming live talking about people with black eyes and weird jerky movements. His stream froze mid-sentence. I opened my fridge, found a half bag of grapes and a protein shake. I didn't eat. I just sat by the window, staring through the blinds. I saw Mrs. Patel. She was outside with her youngest, pulling him along by the arm. She looked terrified. Her kid was crying. The military van was still at the corner. When Mrs. Patel tried to cross the street, one of the soldiers stepped out and shouted something. She turned back, dragging her son, and vanished into her building. I decided right then not to open my window for anything. The coughing in the hall got worse. Then, about 5, I heard a thud. Then running. Not normal running, but something clumsy and off. I stayed away from my door. I called out, "Steve!" No answer, just more coughing, and then nothing. By nightfall, the city was a ghost. No cars, no kids playing, no one walking dogs. Every window on my block had the blinds drawn. I watched the sunset with all the lights off, just in case. My phone buzzed with one last text from Jenny. "Don't open your windows. Don't open your door. I'm sorry." Then her number stopped working. I grabbed the only baseball bat I own, checked the locks, and pushed my couch against the front door. I moved my desk in front of the bedroom window. I felt stupid, but also like I was the only one awake, the only one who understood something awful was coming. Not a hurricane, not a protest, not even a riot. Something wrong, right under the surface, about to explode, and I was already trapped inside. Chapter 2. Dead Confirmation. I didn't sleep. Every creak in the building sounded like footsteps. My phone finally died at 3 a.m. I sat in the dark, watching my breath fog the window. There was a tapping sound, like fingernails on glass, coming from the apartment above me. When I tried to look outside, all I saw was my own reflection, wide-eyed, clutching the bat like a lifeline. Somewhere around dawn, I heard a crash, a window breaking. It was close, maybe the 3rd floor. I waited, holding my breath. The sirens were gone. The world was just waiting. Something banged against my door, hard enough to make the couch shift. I didn't move. I waited, holding my phone like it could still save me. Nothing else happened for hours. Sunlight crept in around the blinds. I thought about trying the news again, but there was nothing. No signal, no Wi-Fi. I peeled back the curtain an inch just to see. That's when I saw Steve. He was in the hallway, banging his head against the wall, leaving a streak of blood each time. His shirt was torn, face gray, lips black. He looked right at me, or through me. I ducked away and held my breath, wishing I could disappear. Her smell was awful, thick and sweet like old meat. I listened for hours, but Steve never left, just kept thudding against the wall. Eventually I heard someone shout, "Get away from me!" followed by a scream and a wet, horrible tearing sound. I knew I should do something, but I stayed where I was. I couldn't move. I heard footsteps running, then a slam, maybe a door down the hall. More screaming, more silence. By afternoon, the apartment felt like a tomb. I heard banging, not just on my floor, but from the street, from other buildings. I risked another look through the blinds and saw a man running down the middle of the street, barefoot, blood running down his arm. Behind him, 3 people chased, moving in a weird, broken way, like their bodies didn't remember how to run. The man made it to the corner, where the Humvee was still parked. One soldier stepped out, pointed his rifle, and the chasing people just stopped, like they knew. The soldier yelled something, but I couldn't hear. The man collapsed. The others wandered off, twitching. It got worse fast. The noises in the hall were constant now. I heard someone break into the laundry room, screaming for help, then a crash, then nothing. My heart never stopped pounding. Every time someone banged on my door, I thought about opening it. But I remembered Jenny's message. Don't open your windows. Don't open your door. I tried calling for help. The phone rang and rang. Then nothing. I wrote out a note just in case. If you find this, I'm Jake. I tried to help. I'm sorry. I ran out of food the next morning. Hunger was the only thing that got me to move. I peeked into the hallway. The smell hit me first. Death, rot, something wrong. Steve's body was slumped against my door, eyes wide open, mouth locked in a silent scream. His fingers were raw, blood smeared all over the handle. I almost puked. I slipped past, holding my breath, heading to the stairwell. That's when I saw Miss Appel. She was lying in front of her door, blood everywhere. Her son was gone. I ran downstairs, looking for anything to eat, any way out. On the first floor, the glass was shattered, blood trails everywhere. I could hear shuffling outside. The military van was gone. I saw someone in the distance, but they moved too fast, hunched and twitchy. I ducked behind a pillar, waited. When it was clear, I bolted for the back alley. That's when I heard someone behind me. I turned and saw Matt. But it wasn't him. Not anymore. His eyes were black, skin gray. He lurched at me, mouth open, making a wet, guttural sound. I swung the bat, caught him in the jaw. He didn't stop. I hit him again, until he went down. Blood splattered all over my hands. I was shaking, sobbing, but I kept going. I ran. The world outside didn't look like my street anymore. Cars abandoned in the middle of the road, trash everywhere, windows smashed, doors hanging open, sirens wailed somewhere far away. I kept running, not knowing where I was going, just away from what used to be home. I finally made it to the old elementary school a few blocks away. The front doors were locked, but someone opened a side window, waved me in. There were maybe 10 people inside, all terrified, all holding something heavy. Bats, golf clubs, even a kitchen knife. I recognized one guy, Brian, who used to deliver my pizza. He looked at me, pale and shaking. "Don't let them bite you," he whispered. "You get bit, you turn." I sat there, bat in my lap, listening to everyone talk over each other. No one really knew what was going on. Some said it was a virus, some said it was a government experiment, some just cried. I realized then that this wasn't about infection. It was about change. The rules were gone. Anyone could turn at any time. I stared at the door, waiting for the next bang, the next scream, the next betrayal. It wasn't over. It was just starting. You lose track of time when you're living on fear. You eat crackers for breakfast and drink water from a classroom sink. The windows are covered in construction paper, duct taped at the corners. We don't talk much, not really. People mutter about the army, about the news, about home. I just sit near the back with Brian, the pizza guy, watching everyone, counting heads, listening for anyone who coughs. The second night, a woman named Karen breaks down. She wants to go check on her husband, who worked night shifts at the Walmart out on Battlefield. She tries to unlock the gym doors. Brian and I stop her. She's screaming, clawing at the glass. "You're killing me," she yells. I let Brian hold her down because I don't want to touch her. We tie her up with a jump rope, and someone tapes her mouth shut. It feels wrong. I look away and just hold the bat. That's how it starts. Someone has to be in charge, and nobody wants it, so we all just become silent guards. That night, I take first watch. I sit with the bat, knees pulled up to my chest, listening to the sounds from outside. There's something scraping the bricks, slow and steady. Once in a while, you hear that broken way of moving. It's never a full run, always a shuffle, like they're looking for something. I imagine Matt's face, all blank-eyed and hungry, and I want to scream. Instead, I just tighten my grip. We're not safe here. The third day, Brian finds bites on the leg of one of the kids. His name's Cody, maybe 9 or 10, but he won't say how he got it. We argue about what to do. The kid's mom, Heather, swears it was just a scratch from a nail. Brian says it's a bite. The group turns on each other. Heather grabs her son and locks themselves in the supply closet. We leave them food, but no one wants to go near the door. At night, the kid starts coughing. None of us sleep. I wake up to screaming. It's Heather, begging us to help. There's blood leaking from under the door. Brian says we can't risk it. He's gone. We have to keep it closed. I cover my ears, but I can still hear her. After an hour, the sounds stop. In the morning, the closet is silent. Brian checks inside. I don't look. He comes back, eyes red. We have to leave. This place is done. We gather what we can. Someone found keys to a maintenance truck outside, so we pile in. Me, Brian, Karen, who's still sobbing, and 2 others, Danny and Michelle. We drive. No plan, just away. The city is ruined. Fires everywhere, abandoned cars, broken glass. We see people in the streets, some running, some just standing, swaying. Brian says don't slow down, so we don't. We stop at a gas station out past the old strip malls, hoping to find food. The doors are locked. Inside, we see people pressed against the glass, banging to get out. They don't look right. Skin stretched, eyes black. Karen starts crying again. I almost do too. We keep going, leaving them behind. We find a farmhouse a few miles out, just past the city limits. It looks empty. Brian wants to check it, so we sneak in through the back. It smells like old wood and mildew. The power's out, but there's canned food and some bottled water. We barricade the doors and windows with furniture. For a minute, it feels safe. We all collapse on the floor, too tired to speak. Brian says, "We'll stay here tonight. We'll figure it out tomorrow." I sit by the window, staring out at the dark fields. It's quiet, except for the sound of my own breathing. I think about Steve, about Mrs. Patel, about Matt, about Jenny. I wonder if she's still alive, or if she's one of them now. I feel numb, but I know I have to keep going. I can't let myself fall apart. Not now. That's when I see movement outside, silhouettes on the edge of the field, shambling closer. I wake the others. We get ready, weapons in hand. This is our life now. Waiting, watching, surviving, hoping not to change.